Hang on a second. Again, this is where all good communication.
You know it's rude to be texting while you're
doing a TV
talking
show?
to somebody?
Hang on. Let's talk about this for a minute.
Yeah.
Protocol. Is it rude to be...
No.
No.
I don't think so, but I've been told.
By whom?
By some friends who actually got really ticked off with me.
That you were texting while we were talking to them?
That's right. And it was funny because it was when we were on vacation, and yet as a business owner, it's like that's another appendage for me. So
you don't have it on here right now.
I actually don't.
I brought mine.
So you're even more rude than I am, in fact.
You want to touch it? You got withdrawals? Oh, there you go.
But yeah, no, it really annoyed her. And there's this whole big thing going on. But at the end of the day, I mean, I know that I don't just use it for business. I do tend to have a little bit of a texting habit now, I'm sure. But
what do you mean by that?
I communicate a lot by text now,
yeah.
More so than...
Actually, do you know that was a standard today? They talked about for the first time ever in cell phone history.
Wow.
That texting now has overtaken cell phone talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about it, though, like, and I know it's not just because I have a business, but when I'm talking to somebody, if I need to get like a tidbit of information across, but I don't have time for a full conversation, it's a much easier way to converse with someone.
Yeah, but the problem is it's misunderstood.
It can be misunderstood, and the other problem is that it has, especially for young people who didn't grow up without that, it has changed the mode of communication in general today. So people don't talk to each other the same way. They don't have full conversations the same way. They get ignored sometimes.
Pardon? LOL. Let's talk about obesity.
Let's talk about obesity. Do you believe, I'll ask the first question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you believe that people choose to be fat, choose to be obese?
Okay, no, I don't think they say, hey, you know what, let me eat till I look obese.
Right.
I don't think they do that.
I don't think so either.
But they choose the foods that will lead to obesity. There's no question the French fry is not a diet product.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
What?
I disagree.
Coca-Cola, which was in here, gone, by the way. You don't drink a Coke and go, you know what, I know it's not going to add me any weight. You know it.
How many people do you know that are thin, that drink Coke and eat chips and eat crap right there?
That guy with the soundboard?
Yeah.
Yeah, he eats like crap.
Yeah.
And he's not overweight.
Never. Never a day in his life has he been overweight. Do you eat chips? Okay, so we have the lovely and talented Kathy, who does not have an ounce of fat on her body. She has a spectacular body, and yet she has just admitted, that she eats chips and drinks Coke. Therefore, poof, I say that you should gain 100 pounds tomorrow because you do that.
You should blow it up. You should blow it up. Paul, you should be blowed up too.
Yeah.
Blowed up real good. But you're not blowed up. You're not blowed up. So what are you saying?
It's hormonal.
Okay, wait a minute. We eat more chips.
No.
Like how many chips would you eat out of a bag of chips? Kath? Half a chip?
You could sit in a set.
Half a
in
bag.
a sitting, you could eat half a bag of chips.
Half
like
a
a big
chips.
bag of chips.
Cookies are my weakness, actually.
Okay, but
how many cookies could you eat in a setting?
Right.
Two rows. I can tell you, in my life, I have never eaten 2 rows of cookies. And although I have lost 130 pounds, I was 130 pounds heavier. And yet I've never sat in one sitting and had 2 rows of cookies. When I was heavier, I didn't eat as much as most of my friends who weighed less. And yet it was assumed that I would be a bigger eater because I was bigger. And yet it was also assumed that I was lazier because I was bigger. Only now I'm 130 pounds less, and I work out every day, and I have a very healthy lifestyle. I'm the same person.
We're talking about the
Gastric bypass.
Gastric bypass.
Yes.
That you actually had one.
I did.
Yeah.
It's called a mini gastric bypass, MGB.
So, okay, first of all, tell us your weight before you went and did this.
I was close to 300 pounds.
Yep. And now you are?
I've lost over 130 pounds.
Nice.
And I'm 5'9", so I'm a pretty tall girl. And
yeah.
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 So
awesome. Okay, so you went for a mini gastric bypass. The province of Ontario stopped this process, and now because the doctors in the province of Ontario didn't want you went to a better one, and they won't endorse it here, and the one that they have going on here you think is inferior, and the province of Ontario won't
fund it anymore.
Won't fund it.
So
won't
we're
fund
fighting
people
that.
Yeah, why?
Because they're basically just trying to, it's political, because they're trying to keep the money in Ontario, which is fine. Actually, I have no issue with trying to keep Canadian money in Canada. That's absolutely the way it should be. The biggest issue is that the surgery is inferior here. It's an older form of surgery called the Roux-en-Y.
Which is what basically they take out.
It's just done a little bit differently, but it's also, and they have advanced it from what it used to be, but it's not what the MGB is, and it's not as safe, it's not reversible, revisable. Those are the biggest things that caused the surgery that I had to be so much better. So,
what's your sex life now like since you dropped 130 pounds?
Oh, it totally changed. Yeah. Everything changes because
I can't believe I asked that question.
Well, but it's a very good question to ask because, I mean, walking up a flight... Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, but everything from like walking up a flight of stairs, you know, I used to pull myself upstairs. Now I run upstairs. But sex is definitely, I mean, you have to think, first of all, just my boobs were a lot bigger. And, you know, you'd roll over in bed and have to kind of lift them over along with you. And that's a big issue. And just, you don't feel good. Your joints don't feel good. You're in pain all the time. So... you know, and certainly mobility is not the same. So sex post-surgery is a huge difference. Women also have a big change in their hormone levels after surgery. So as an obese woman, I carried around a lot more female hormones. So when they plummet, estrogen, when they plummet post-surgery, you go through almost like a hormone withdrawal. So you can get kind of moody and stuff like that. So often you'll wear a hormone patch to kind of supplement that as your weight goes down.
Right.
But then you also see a big spike in sex drive and everything else.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So people who lose weight want more sex?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
I believe so.
You think a lot of people would just be on that diet for a reason? Oh, by the way, talk about that. Same-sex sex.
I haven't had it myself, but I'm not opposed to it.
What do you mean? Please, dear God. Okay, what do you mean? I mean, I understand it's
Is it not okay to... See, here I have a very strange outlook on the whole thing, so you may not like this, Garth, but I've always thought that we as people are just at varying degrees of heterosexual, homosexual. I really do.
Yeah.
I do. I think that I've always felt that if I was going to fall in love with someone, it wouldn't matter whether they were male or female. I would fall in love with the person. I think I have a natural tendency towards men, and I think you might have a natural tendency towards women, but I believe that there is a possibility for anyone to... I do.
Brokeback Mountain? I don't think so.
And possibly not, because you just aren't attracted to that. But, I mean, I think anyone that is just so homophobic has serious problems. I think the fact that, you know...
Well, I'm not homophobic. I'm okay.
No, I don't think you're homophobic either.
I was pursued by a man.
Were you?
When I was...
Were you flattered?
Weirded out, more likely, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't find it weird at all.
Yeah, it's pretty hard when you're a 19-year-old guy and then...
Oh, well, that, yeah.
Yeah, and
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as a mature...
That's a stretch.
As a mature man, if a guy came on to you, don't you think you'd be kind of like, cool, a dude just came on to me? You may not be interested in the person, but you might find... No? Nothing? Nothing?
Ooh.
Really?
A guy coming on to me would be okay?
Aren't you still attracted? Okay? Absolutely, it's okay.
No!
I'd be like...
No, it's not right.
Damn.
It's wrong. Major effects of extramarital affairs. Ready? What about that one? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I just think it's interesting because you have people on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Some people who, like, take the whole Tiger Woods and Jesse James, all that stuff.
It says here there's damage to the self-esteem. A person who has been cheated on will suffer a blow to his or her self-esteem, and they may have unusual thoughts of, was I not enough? So many victims of an affair respond to an affair by blaming themselves.
See, I think in most cases, or in many cases, an affair happens because there's already a breakdown somewhere else in the relationship. I think that's the bigger issue. So I think the affair is just something that's happening, and whether it is an actual affair or whether it's just that's how somebody learns that there's something. So another person shows an attraction, and you have a response to that attraction. And
you think that's okay? Shouldn't you be able to go, hey, gotta stop?
Well, even if you do say, yo, I got to stop, or if you discuss it with your partner, or however you do that, I think that's the bigger issue. Not so much where that goes. Like I think that is the natural tendency that happens, is to let people know, wow, there's actually something really going on here. And I think it's really important that you then go back and figure that out. Sometimes it's something where, maybe a Tiger Woods or some of those guys, maybe they have, the sexual addiction or something like that. And everybody else is saying, oh, it's a load of crap and there's no such thing and they're just wanting to get their rocks off. That's possible.
But ever since you stopped doing that, he can't play golf.
I personally think that there are some people that they vibrate at a different level, no pun intended, but I think, looking at Bill Clinton or, some of these very, very high top performers require a lot more stimulation than other people. Yeah. I think if you're married to somebody like that, I personally think that you should be communicating a ton with your partner, and the fact that the fact that Tiger Woods' wife didn't know some of this stuff was going on is shocking to me, quite frankly. I think you have to be oblivious to not know some of those things are going on, and you don't want to know, So I think if you get into a situation like that, into a marriage like that, that's something very different. But I also think that people went so overboard and just wanted to ruin the guy's life. You know what? It's none of our business what he does or doesn't do. It's his wife's business and it's his business.